Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Weapon Showcase. Today, we're looking at a weapon that I feel that everyone at this point in the game is very familiar with. This is the Aerospray MG. It's unlocked at level 6, and when you equip it, you're given the Curling Bomb Launcher Special and the Plunger Bomb secondary weapon. So, let's get into it. The pros of this weapon is that it has an insanely high rate of fire. In fact, I believe it might even be the highest in the game. Despite the fact that it's a 5-shot weapon, 5-shot kills, the thing is, as soon as you're in range and it fires so fast that it might as well have been like 3 or 4 hits, like any less really. It's really fast rate of fire, and it is spectacular for covering surfaces. If you're playing a turf war, you'll easily top the charts on the winning side at like 2100, and even on the losing side, you could easily reach like 1200. It's insane how much ground you can cover with this. And that lends also to the fact that the Curling Bomb Launcher Special also, in addition to covering a lot of ground and being super spammable, it also controls space. So if you see where the enemies are, they don't want to be around when that thing's happening, so you just get to see, kind of lead along your enemies as those curling bombs are coming out. And because of the high rate of fire that this weapon has, you can actually build it up at least like 2 or 3 times per game, so within the first 3 minutes, as long as you're constantly proactive and firing away, covering as many surfaces as you can. And at close range, it's quite deadly. Now, that's kind of like leads us into the cons of this weapon. The range is very low. Like, you have to almost be in their face most of the time to get it. Like, of course, you could go a little bit more, but even for me, I was actually testing it out at Sheldon's store, where you have the targeting range. And I would even be firing at them at point-blank range, and then because of the widespread radius of the shots, sometimes it would like go around or even over them sometimes. But the thing is though, like most of the time when you're fighting, people would be moving into the bullets anyway. So yeah, close range is where you need to be in order to actually get some lethality, out of it. But also the issue with the close range capabilities of it is that you can't just go, like 1v2 most people unless, you were to position yourself properly, which is kind of the whole point of the game anyway. And also that also lends itself to like even the 1v1s with most scenarios. Like, you have to make sure you get the job on them. Again, usually that's how it is. It's not like the splatter shots where you can like see a guy and then trade shots with him. Another issue, this is also more of a criticism about Splatoon 2 and how the online lobbies work. But because it's very popular at the moment, and that's like, having like 3 Aerospray MGs in one team is going to mess up the team composition. The problem with that, though, is that you do kind of have to leave a lobby if you want to switch weapons, or at least join a team where they don't have that, because it's insanely popular weapons, and, it's kind of the fault of Splatoon 2 at the moment for not letting us pick our weapons as we go between the different lobbies. And also, because of its large, massive popularity, is that since a lot of people use it, a lot of people at this point, even now, like, within the early stages of the game, people know how to deal with it. So the best way to deal with it is just to stay out of its effective range. Of course, it depends on a team-by-team basis. When you're playing with people, you might find that some people understand how the weapons work, and that might be your advantage, because then they would sort of help, like, you get the most out of it. But that's kind of the main thing, though. Most people, they would know, and they would pick a weapon, or they would already have a weapon that has a longer range. Like, most people, they would pick up a gun knowing how to deal with any gun or matchup in any given situation. So, as you could probably see in the videos right now, I am just rushing most of the time. I'm just trying to push as much of the objective as I can. And of course, because it's a turf war, the main objective is to cover as much ground as possible, which this weapon does beautifully at. Most of the time, as soon as I find that I have this special already, I try to find a place where there is the most enemy ink available. So, like, yeah, then I'll just spam away. Like, you could, because, being that I have a very low skill in comparison to most people, most of the time I would just go ahead and spam it, but I can imagine there are plenty of clever tactics that people can employ with the Curling Bomb launcher special, which I think is really cool as well, if you were to aim it accordingly so that you would lead them along the nose. Just so you guys know, just a quick reminder, is that you still can swim, you can still use your gun, even as you're using the launcher. It's just that the timer is still ticking down. But that's great though, because what I like to do is that I would launch like maybe 3 curling bombs, and then I would shoot a little bit of my Aerospray forward and swim forward some more. Just cover a lot of grounds, really. You see me doing that a lot in the footage that you're seeing here, where I'm kind of just trying to push as best as I can and try to steal all the ground on the enemy's side of the map. And that's what this gun is good for. This gun is really, really good for that. That's why it's so popular, because these matches that I'm watching, I'm making like 2100 on the charts, could have gone more, maybe, if I really, really thought, like, put my minds on it, and then I had people that were constantly taking care of the enemy. You can easily win turf wars quite quickly, actually, by virtue of the high fire rates and splat radius of this weapon. Anyways, that should basically do it for this gun. Again, summation comes with the curling bomb launcher special and the plunger bomb, unlocks at level 6, so you can get it really, really early on when you get this game. The main selling points is the high rate of fire and even the damage, even though it's it's a 5-shot kill weapon, but you can gain that really, really quickly. Of course, the main issues being here is that the range is very, very low. It's so popular that people already know how to deal with it at this point, and of course, like, you don't want to find yourself in a team where there's like 3 Aerosprays over there. So, anyways, guys, thanks very, very much for watching, and enjoy the rest of this match using the Aerospray MG.